Hey, Zach here with Holy Smokes Barbecue. Thank you for tuning in and checking out this episode. If you like it, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. We'd love for you to follow as we explore barbecue and share our tips and tricks with barbecue. In this episode, we're going to talk about pulled pork. And we're going to do a recipe that I really love, and it's Pepsi Wild Cherry. And we're going to make a really sweet heat barbecue. And so join us, tune in as we check out this recipe. We're going to do a pork butt today, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how I season it, how I prepare it for smoking. And today's recipe is going to be a Pepsi Wild Cherry pulled pork. And so we're going to trim this. This is about a 10-pound pork butt. We're going to trim this, season it with our Hog Heaven dry seasoning. You can use whatever your favorite is. Try to find something maybe a little sweeter. We'll cover it, coat it, and then we're going to throw it on the smoker. And we're going to use apple wood today. And what I do is I smoke at about 250, 275 for about good 6 hours. And after 2 hour mark, we're gonna spritz this with Wild Cherry Pepsi every hour until it hits the color that we like. So looking at this, let's trim this up really quick. I don't do a whole lot of trimming on the pork butt. They come pretty well. You'll notice here with the pork butt, when we pull this off here, you're gonna notice that every pork butt has a side here, and then on the other side is a fat cap, and it's just kind of a thicker part of the fat. Excuse me. We're gonna just pat this dry a little bit. I don't take a lot of work trimming these. Definitely for home use, it's not that big a deal, and so I'm just gonna take off a little bit of the fat here on the side. You'll notice on these pork butts, what I like is the ones with the bone in here. And so these are nice, they're well formed, well packed. If you're a cooking competition, you'd do a lot of extra help here, trimming it up and kind of separating the money muscle here. And so for home cook here, we're just gonna trim off some of this hard edge fat here. And this is not gonna render on the cook. You notice a big chunk of fat here. So I'm just going to trim this piece off here just to kind of get the meat right to the edge. What you want is you want a nice bark around here, and so we're just going to try to trim off some of this. And there you go. You kind of have a simple pork butt here. Remove this little hangy flap here. You'll notice here with this, I don't do a binder on mine. I don't feel like it's necessary or needed. Some guys use mustard, some use oil. All we're gonna do is just pull out our dry rub and we're gonna begin to coat it. And I usually try to start with the sides, just a good even coat. This is a big piece of meat, so you can season it pretty hefty and not worry about over seasoning it, because it's gonna cook down and absorb it in, and you're not going to have to worry about it being maybe too over seasoned. And so there you go, you have it. Let's go jump on the smoker and get this thing ready. All right, with my smoker I like to add some smaller pieces of wood right down in the bottom here, and then I use lump chuck. I'm just going to throw it up. Then we'll throw another piece of wood here on top. All right, I like to use these tumbleweeds, and these are great fire starters. I kind of throw it in the back here, down in the coals. Light that thing, and then Alright, this is our offset smoker that we use. It's a 300-gallon stainless steel milk jug, and this is our fire box. We hold our firewood, heat box down here. Today we're going to be using apple wood. All right, now we'll be able to throw these pork butts on the smoker here. It's the temp. All right, these have been on for 3 hours now. We're gonna get out here and check them and spritz them. I have a wheat sprayer that works really good for spritzing, and I just put cherry Pepsi in here. And so, open these up. All right, we've been going about 5 hours-ish, and we're gonna spritz again, check on the color, and get ready to maybe wrap them. Great color, great bark. All right, pork butts are done. Turned out great. Done as in ready to wrap. Great color on these. You can see we've spritzed it for the last few hours, every hour with some cherry Pepsi, and squirted a little bit, got it wet, and then we'll cover these with tin foil and let them cook the rest of the way. All right, we'll go back on the grill, let these cook for probably another 2-3 hours. They're about 140, 145. Got about another 60 degrees to go, and then we'll pull them and let them rest. All right, we've let these things cook for about 8 hours. They came up to temp and soft to the touch with the Thermapen, and now we're just kind of letting them vent and rest a little bit. You can see the great color, you can see the bone. If I were to pull on it, it would come out really easily. And so these are looking great, and typically let these things rest for about an hour and let them cool down, and then we'll chop it and shred it up.